Hello everybody, this is Arid. In-game name is September on Thunderwing Nui and the public test server. In this video, what I wanted to do is cover the fishing changes coming with the July update. Now what I was originally going to do was sports fishing, the advanced fishing and ice fishing, just kind of check that out. Make sure nothing has changed, any surprises or anything like that. However, my buddy, another Tryon creator, Niver, has already covered sports fishing. So with that said, I'll put a link to his video in the description. So check that out if you're interested in becoming a sports fisher on the Fresh Start server, or if you just want to see what's going on for those on the Legacy server. So I am going to cover what he already covered, which is the fishing poles. There is basically two new fishing poles, and really it comes down to which one you want. And so if you go to, well, I've got a multi-purpose workbench here, but if you go to a handicraft kiln, you can craft these fishing poles. Or if you have the multi-purpose bench, you can craft them there. So you've got basically two choices. There's a flexible version and a sturdy version. The sturdy version gives you more damage for sports fishing, and the flexible version gives you a less amount of catch time, so you can catch more fish. Once you're at the max level, you're probably going to be using the flexible because of the faster catch time. You don't really need that extra damage. I'm playing my character August, who is maxed out in fishing. That is because he needs, we needed a character that can do the advanced fishing for the big belly fish. So let me go ahead and get this rod made, and then we're going to head out on the seas and see what we can get into. Alright, so the first thing that I'm going to need to do is craft a basic rod. Thought I had all those mats, but I don't, so I need a sturdy reel. That's 2 lumber, 2 iron ingot. All these rods are very, very inexpensively cheap. Cheap to craft, except for the oils. The oils is what's going to get you. So let's go ahead and get this basic rod crafted, and then I'm going to work up the sturdy fishing rod path. I've already got the flexible made, so I need another one of these reels here. And then I'll take my novice rod and then start on the sturdy path. Or my basic rod. Now I've got the novice sturdy rod. Then we'll need to craft a veteran, so I need a fishing hook and a gilt reel. And then 1 rough polish. And I'm going to need one more, or I'm going to need another rough polish. So here we go. Get that crafted. Get this crafted next. And I think I've got a... Well, I don't. Alright, hold on one second. I'll be right back. Alright, I got the mats. There we go. Got that going. And then we're going to craft the final fishing rod. So the way it works is you need the fishing skill and the proficiency to equip it. So it's pretty universal. So the basic rod, you don't need any skill. The novice versions, you're going to need 10,000 fishing skill to craft and equip. The veterans version, you're going to need 20,000. And then the experts versions, you're going to need 40,000 fishing skill. Okay, so now that we got that crafted, the first thing that I'm going to do is go check out ice fishing. And my advice is, if you do not have a portal to the Mirror Tundra, just ask for somebody that has it. I actually forget which zones have the world portals. But if you can find somebody just to teleport you there, once you get here, you're pretty much guaranteed to just get the bind point. It's been a long time since I've covered ice fishing, but here's the deal with it. You're going to need one of these fishing poles. I don't necessarily think that it matters which one you use, but I will test them both here. And also, I need to make you aware of, when you equip a fishing rod, I've seen a lot of questions asked about this, or I've heard this question multiple times. When you first equip a fishing rod, you cannot switch it. There's a debuff that you get that says you cannot use skills on sports fish. The reason why they did that is one of these rods has a lower catch timer and the other one does more damage. So people were thinking they could equip the low catch time rod and then just switch to the higher damage rod once they've hooked a fish. You can't do that. One or the other. Okay, so for ice fishing, you're going to have to get an ice shovel. If you're here in the Mirror Tundra, you can purchase these for 3 gold. And then you just go over here to one of these ice fishing markers. Hardly anybody's ever out here, but if you want to be an ice fisher, the good thing about the ice fishing is it's something that you can do AFK, which you can bait worm fish. The benefit to ice fishing versus normal bait worm fishing is that you catch a little higher quality of fish. So you use your ice shovel, you dig up a spot. Sometimes you'll get a bear like this to spawn. You kill him. Oh man, my hotkeys are all messed up. Oh, and then he drops this fish. It can actually drop bigger fish than this. This is a fry fish. You can turn in this fish, and I'm just showing you this. You know, it's not really good video here, but I'm just showing you this because it is a way to offset the cost of the ice shovel. The ice shovel costs 3 gold. I can turn this fish in and get even a fry pack. Oops. And I get that gold back. Alright, so ice fishing. Once you have dug the hole, once you have dug the hole, all you have to do is pop a squat and right click your fishing button and off you go. And well, I'm just going to show a little bit of this footage. Don't need to show a whole lot of it. The ice hole lasts 2 hours, so you can fish unabated. Good word there. Unabated for 2 hours. You can AFK, Alt Tab, whatever you want to do. And he's off and running. So I needed to narrate this part. Basically, the whole reason for ice fishing is because you can catch arcane fish, which is going to be briefly shown in the bag at the very end of this narration. It's basically a arcane fish that requires only 2 of to create a Dawn's Lake essence, thusly making it slightly more profitable than bait fishing. Alright, so we're off. We're headed to the the advanced fishing spot, which is in the Sunspec Sea. And I wanted to show you this. If this video looks a little odd, I've got my other account. September's boat is a little faster, so I opted to use that boat. And I'm not going to drag you guys along this whole trip, but I wanted to show you the jump off point. The best point for the Harani is if you start in Yenister and just go up north. If you're a newie, obviously the Souls Reed would be your port, and then you just head up to the Sunspec Sea, which is right around Friedrich. Now, in the patch notes, they said that they've added fishing in around the Friedrich Isle, and they show the ground fish chum or something like that. Essentially, that is the advanced fishing. They used to say the advanced fishing is done in the Sunspec Sea. Now they say around Friedrich. It's the same location. So we're off, and as soon as we get there, I'll bring the video back up. All right, looks like we've made it. You can actually fish anywhere in the Sunspec Sea. However, what I'm going to do is I always go to this Nui area right here, right around here in Friedrich. I've like on EU, I'll put my alts to fish out here, and if you get killed, you just respawn right by the Nui, so it's pretty easy. All right, so to do the advanced fishing, first of all, you need to be max level. That requirement has not changed. So you need to be max level fishing. That's 230,000. That's base. You cannot advance fish unless you're maxed out in fishing. Once you achieve that, you also get this title called Any Fin is Possible, and you need to have that title equipped. Additionally, you can pick whatever stats you want now with the new title changes, but it is important that you have the actual title, Any Fin is Possible, otherwise this won't work. And then once you're in the area, there's this other button down here. Here's your normal fishing, bait fishing, but here is your advanced fishing. Again, requires 230,000 fishing proficiency, requires the title Any Fin is Possible, only works around Friedrich Island. That's a text change that caused some confusion, but essentially it's in the Sunspec Sea. So here I am right-clicking, and it uses this ground fish chum. And I'm kind of curious if it's going to be a higher catch rate, because these fishing poles now say they have like a 96% success rate, but I think that's only applies to the sports fishing. If I remember correctly from my normal advanced fishing, it's about a normally it's like 75% of the time you're going to catch something. The other 25% you just end up wasting labor and chum. The labor cost is exactly the same. It's 12 labor to catch a big belly fish. And we'll open some of these up to verify that none of the drops have changed. But it's going to take a while for me to fish up some of these. So in that time, I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and come back once I have about 100 of these to crack open. See you in a minute. Alright, so that was 100 of the fishes. And I don't remember how many the ground fishing chum I had, but I'll put an overlay here on the video to see my catch rate. So that took a little bit of time. It doesn't seem like the fishing has sped up at all. It doesn't seem like the big belly fishing has sped up. I mean, if you look at this cast time and the catch rate, and I'm even wearing the Don's Lake boots for that. You'll notice when it pops up there. It doesn't seem like it does anything. So it still takes a while to use up your labor when doing big belly fishing, but that's always been that way. So it doesn't look like any changes. We'll have to open up these fish to check it out. But before we do that, alright, so the last thing that I wanted to check out was bait worm fishing or normal fishing. And as you can see here, I'm doing that now. There is one change that I think everybody should be aware of, and that is with the change to the ingredients for the chum bucket. It used to be called ground fishing chum or something like that, and that used to be crafted with pike, which I just now caught one of those. You could, with the cooking, you could take 10 pike and craft a ground fishing bucket or fishing chum. Forget what it was called. I actually had these in my bag. They were automatically converted to this new version. It wasn't right click and convert, it was just changed. So the new, this bucket, by the way, is what you use to chum the fish for sports fishing. And like I said, it was 10 pike before, and now it is... Okay, we got that clicked, and then we search. It is now 60 bait worms and 40 ground grain. And I think that's going to be an increase in the cost. 10 pike, depending on which server you were on, was, I don't know, like 15 to 20 silver each, and 50 labor. So now it is the bait worm, which is like 4 to 5 silver each. And so that's actually an increase in cost in materials and for this bucket. So if you're in game right now and you plan on doing a lot of sports fishing, probably buy up the pike that you can and craft the fishing buckets, because they will convert over to the new version. It's probably a little cheaper just depending on the price of the pike. Alright, so that's bait fishing. It doesn't look like anything else has changed on that. I've done this a fair bit off of camera, and I haven't seen any new drops or any speed or anything like that. It's just the same as always. Alright, so let's go ahead and open up the big belly fish and see what we get out of it. This was the source for brine-bound rocks, mushroom spores, and essentially Don's Lakes. You get 3 of these Soul Rees mackerels, which will convert into 1 Don's Lake with the alchemy skill. So I had 101 of these. We'll go ahead and open them up. It looks like it's the same stuff. So far I haven't seen anything new. We got the Soul Rees mackerel, the fishing maps, the clubhead spore. Haven't got any of the brine-bound rocks yet. And if it doesn't drop an item, you get around 2.5 silver. 2 to 2.5 silver. Alright, so I'll go ahead and speed this up in post. Alright, so that was 101 big belly fish, 60 or 78 of the Solresian mackerel. Now that is actually above average. Again, I do big belly fishing or advanced fishing on my EU alt, and typically what you're going to see out of 100 big belly fish is about 60 of these, which turns into 20 Don Lakes. That is the average, so this is actually above average. I don't know if it's a significant amount above average to say that it's better, but everything else that has dropped is normal. 2 brine-bound rocks, 5 of these blank canvases, 12 clubhead spores, and some treasure maps. I haven't run any of these treasure maps to see if they changed the loot table. We didn't get any patch notes indicating that they changed the loot table, so we'll have to check that out, but I don't think so. Other than that, it looks like advanced fishing is pretty much exactly the same. Alright, so what I'm going to do the last part of this video, let me just sum up everything that we've learned. First of all, if you'd like to learn more about sports fishing, once again, check out Niver's video. There'll be a link in the video description. As far as bait fishing goes, it looks like it's pretty much identical to what it was. As far as ice fishing goes, once again, identical. And big belly or advanced fishing, again, identical. So as far as fishing goes, it looks like pretty much everything is about the same as what it was. The Fresh Start servers are finally getting fishing boats, so you'll be able to take advantage of sports fishing. Other than the changes to sports fishing, where you get a permanent fishing pole and you get to pick which kind you want, one that does more damage or one that catches faster, and the changes to the chum for sports fishing, which does last for 2 hours now, and that's pretty much everything that's changed is all about sports fishing, which is included in the patch notes. Honestly, fishing is pretty much exactly the same except for sports fishing, which averages out to being a little different but kind of the same. The fishing lures, I do have a couple of them in my bag, and I wanted to show you this. If you have any of the old fishing lures, basically the only thing that you can do with them is sell them to a merchant. The blue lure is worth 42 silver. The red lure is worth 60 silver. And I don't have any of the old yellow lures, so I don't know what those are worth. If that helps you at all, there you go. I'm going to add in just I'm going to have September go out and run 5 of the treasure maps just to make sure nothing has changed. I'll add that in, and then that'll be the end. Alright, so I'm back on September, and I switched over to September because he has more portals. This is the 5th treasure rare, the rare blue treasure map, and it's basically the same stuff. So the first 3 I got 1 moonlight crystal, and then the 4th one I got a moonlight and a book of aurora, and this one I got a sunlight and 2 black pearls. No lunarite dropping out of the blue treasure map. So I just wanted to include that because, you know, XL has a way of changing things and not really telling Tryon, which in turn they don't tell us. So it is what it is. The treasure maps don't look like they've changed at all. And so there you go. That's fishing, that's treasure maps, and I hope it's helped. Until next time, this is September saying be well.